Hi everyone. There's been some breaking news overnight in the divorce world. Anytime there's a big celebrity divorce, that definitely makes headlines across the country and across the world. This time's no different. We have a divorce that was filed yesterday by Sam Asghari against the one and only Britney Spears. A lot of legal issues actually coming up in that one, which may or may not be relevant for a lot of people here in New York. So let's talk about it. First thing that comes to mind is, obviously we're all familiar with Britney Spears. She's been around for, the better part of probably the last 25 years in pop culture. She's on to her third marriage. So her marriage to Mr. Asghari came at a pretty interesting time. She got married to him while she was still under the infamous conservatorship, where her father was in charge of her legal affairs. So the first legal question that comes up is, was Britney even legally competent to enter into a marriage contract? That I'm not sure about. That's to be determined. That might be one of the potential issues that Britney's celebrity divorce attorney, Laura Wasser, might raise through this whole process. So that's still to be seen. The presumption is that I think since they were married sometime around June of 2022, or maybe a little bit earlier than that, she was still under conservatorship, but any legal contract that she entered into at that time had to be agreed upon by her father, who had control of her legal affairs. So it'll be interesting to find out exactly what happened along those lines. What else I read was that obviously there's a prenup, right? Anytime you're going to have a major celebrity marrying someone who's just an ordinary civilian, like Mr. Asghari, who I believe was a model and a dancer, you're not gonna, you're not just gonna get married and say, all right, let's, everything that we earned during this time is up for grabs. So under that circumstance, he did sign a prenup, from what I know. The terms of the prenup are obviously undisclosed right now. What we're likely to find out, and what most prenups for very wealthy individuals would state, is that he probably waived any interest to Britney's premarital property, which was already under most state laws exempt from distribution, which means that whatever she came into the marriage with is hers. Any appreciation of those assets, any income that's generated from those assets, probably her music royalties and things of that nature, I don't know, movie rights, whatever she's been in a ton of things. Anything that she is getting income from, he is not entitled to. So what could he possibly be entitled to? So over a period of about a year of marriage, I'm sure she made some money, perhaps she bought some property, maybe along those lines he might be entitled to something. Perhaps in that prenup they have something along the lines where he's entitled to a certain amount of spousal support based on the length of their marriage, or just a flat fee. There are allegations of infidelity, which for the most part, at least in New York, don't matter. It doesn't change any of the financial distribution of assets or the level that any party's entitled to. So whether he proves it or not, it's not really going to change the outcome. But what I'm hearing from my reliable sources over at Variety and TMZ is that Sam Asghari had attempted to renegotiate the prenup, which doesn't sound great to me. He was trying to renegotiate the prenup under the basis that he's not going to expose Britney's infidelity, alleged infidelity, excuse me. One of the key things or key events that would occur to invalidate a prenup is having someone under duress. To have someone under duress means that Britney was forced to sign a modification to the prenup. So why would he be asking for a modification to the prenup? Obviously it means he's not getting a whole lot over there, and he wants a better deal, or a larger slice of the pie, so to speak. So in order to even modify the prenup, that means they have to completely renegotiate. At least in New York, I'm not sure about California where they're married, but in New York, if you're looking to modify a prenup, you don't just staple on an extra page. It's an entire process. So what you have to do at that point is you're going through an entire negotiation. You have to go through a full and complete financial disclosure with the other party. You're starting from the very beginning. So it's as if you've never entered into an agreement. So in order for the parties to agree on any form of a modification, that would mean that Britney is first and foremost going to have to disclose what her assets are. She just signed a massive book deal. I think she has a memoir coming out in October of 2023, which is going to describe her life under conservatorship. Sorry about that, guys. My car has a bazillion sensors and definitely loves to make a lot of noise as I'm trying to park. But things like that Britney is currently working on, money that she's going to be making, is something that Sam might be going after. So that's to be determined. I don't think that Britney has gotten to the point where she's looking to renegotiate the contract, the prenup. What we're likely to see is one of two things. Either there's going to be a quick settlement. They don't have any kids. Everything's worked out in their prenup. So for the most part, unless he challenges it and has a really good legal basis for it, meaning that there was some sort of fraud in the inducement of entering into the prenup, perhaps there was a lack of financial disclosure, or maybe he didn't have time to review it. I doubt all that, right? These are well-to-do people, celebrities, right? They're just like us, but I would imagine that they both had, pretty good legal counsel, and both sides were represented independently. So I don't think there's really a likelihood to any challenges. In New York, challenging a prenup is extremely, extremely difficult. Under a challenge, you really have to have a good, compelling reason. I think it's harder in general to have the entire prenup stricken. You might have a better chance at striking perhaps specific provisions. Most prenups have what's called a severability clause. Actually, most contracts have it. And a severability clause means that any part of the agreement that the court deems to be either unenforceable or unconscionable could be stricken, and the remainder of the agreement continues to survive. So we're likely to see that situation. So if there's a challenge, you're going to see some really nasty litigation. The news is going to love it. TMZ is going to get a bazillion views. So keep an eye out for that. My guess is that given that they have no children, and I think they have most likely a pretty solid prenup, you're going to see a quick and quiet settlement with a non-disclosure, and Sam is going to ride off into the sunset with a huge bag of money. We'll follow up on this as time progresses. We'll see what kind of developments there are, and hopefully there's going to be a part 2 to this video.